Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about Tar Baby by Toni Morrison. Now, before I go into summary analysis of this work, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and/or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. Tar Baby is a very interesting book by Toni Morrison. We're looking at a love story. We're looking at Jadine and Son. Jadine, she's studying in France. Son is a fugitive. Basically, what happens is, they love each other. They have a romantic relationship, and throughout the book, we do follow them and how their relationship is, it goes up and down, and there's a lot of things that happen in between the lines of their relationship. But basically, some background on these two. We know that Jadine, she's a model, so she's beautiful. She's a student, and she's just trying to figure out life for herself and what she wants to do with her life. Son, he's a fugitive. He's running from the law. Pretty much for 8 years, he's run away from his home. Apparently, his wife was having sex with this 13-year-old boy, and he got really mad and drove the car into the house, and the car exploded, and the wife died of the injuries. I mean, the exploding car in the house, wife gets, you know, in the middle of all of that, and she dies from her injuries. So, son is on the run. He never really goes into his background, his detail of that, because again, he's a fugitive. He's running from the law because, well, driving your car into your house and your wife dying, I'm pretty sure there would be some legal consequences of that. So that son, this all happened in Florida. So he's originally from Florida. This is what he tells. He tells Janine that within the work. So what pretty much happens, the setting of this work is all over the place. It's in New York, it's in Florida, it's in France, it's in the Caribbean. So Son, he's hopping from place to place. And he finally lands on Isle de la Quartz. That's where he finds himself in this really nice house with Valerian and Margaret. Valerian and Margaret are together. They have a son by the name of Michael. And then there's Sydney and Ondine. Sydney and Ondine are the butler. So Sydney's the butler. Ondine is the cook. They work for Valerian. Valerian, he has a lot of money. He had a candy business. He retires. He has all his money. It is found. We do find out within the work that Margaret was abusing, their child, Michael. So Michael never shows up within this work um, to see Valerian and Margaret because, well, he was being abused as a kid. So once he gets out, he gets out. This is a big deal when it's revealed within this work. There's lots of fighting and lots of arguing, but when it's revealed, it's very shocking. Now Margaret, she does have some remorse over this, because she says, or it's revealed that she does stop when he starts to struggle, but again, being touched is not, assault is just assault. There's no, you know bright side to it. It's you're being assaulted. Yeah. And again, by family members. I mean, for Michael, you can imagine it's not a pretty. You're being assaulted by your family. So, yeah. But the story pretty much goes on. After everything is revealed, with Michael being touched and Valerian firing some workers, and Margaret's history with what she was doing in the home, and them discovering Son in the house, this fugitive. Valerian does offer Son to stay, and Son and Jadine, they do start a romantic relationship, and there's ups and downs of them not getting along, them getting along, and them falling in love, and then them splitting ways. They go to New York, they stay in New York for a while, and then Son wants to go to Florida, and they go to Florida, but then Jadine's like, no, I don't want to stay in Florida. She goes back to New York, then she goes back to the island, and she goes back to France, and then Son's like, I can't live without Jadine, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna go and find her address in France. So Tar Baby does follow the romantic relationship of Jadine and Son. It also, looks into the lives of Valerian and Margaret and their son, um, and pretty much their lives on the island. This is looking at, again, Toni Morrison, great writer. We do get, in terms of deeper meaning and analysis here, when you're looking at Toni Morrison work, it's looking at characters in a deep level, why they do things, the reason they do things, if they're happy with life, if they're not happy with life. Margaret she's not happy. Her past sins with Michael, her life on the island is not that it's not happy at all. She feels horrible, or after you abuse your kid, you know, it's pretty much not an easy thing to live with. Now it's revealed to your husband, and everybody knows what you did. Jadine, she's just trying to find her place in life. She thought it was with Son, but they have to figure out how they work together. They try to change each other, try to understand each other. Son is like trying to understand Jadine's ethnicity, where she comes from. So there's lots of ups and downs between these two, and them trying to figure out how they work together. So Tar Baby, again, it's a work that really dives into the different emotions and the different past of these characters, and how they come together and how they affect each other. At the end of it is, it's not like everything ends up in a happy ending. It's kind of like life, when it comes to romantic relationships, it's not always straightforward. um, a lot of people a lot of people die without ever getting it right. And a lot of people throughout life, you fall in love, you fall out of love. You're trying to figure out what works. Love is one emotion that I have to say, especially romantic love, is one thing that's a tornado. Um, goes to figure why the divorce rate is so high in a country like America, and I guess in a lot of countries where people have the freedom to choose their romantic partners. Love is a roller coaster. One day you're in love with somebody, and the next day you're tired of them and you hate them. And there's so much nuances in terms of how to live with certain people. Jadine and Son, they're just running after each other, and they're just trying to figure out how to make this work. Valerian and Margaret, they're not they don't have that deep passion. Jadine and Son, they have that passion, that young people passion, that the type of passion of going from country to country, state to state, island to island for each other. Um, and Sydney and Ondine, I mean, they're just working, they're just doing their duty. Um, but we do see these three different types of couples within this work, and they're both in different places within their lives. Valeria and Margaret, it's like, retirement slash not happiness, not happy. Sydney and Ondine, it's like, this is our lives. We're just trying to make this work. And Jadine and Son, they're just, well, it's hot blooded, you know, country to country, intercontinental, um, passionate, trying to figure out what we are type of love. And at the end of it, it's not that they're like end up together in matrimony. It's just we're still trying to figure this whole thing out. But that's all I had to say about this work. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment. And I'll see you guys in the next video.